to our Johnny Gaudreau here, the Columbus Blue Jackets. They were 6th in the Metro with a 37-38-7 record, which was 81 points. 10th in the East and 21st in the league. The head coach is Brad Larson. They lost Gabriel Carlson to the Capitals, Kevin Stenlund to the Winnipeg Jets, and Oliver Bjorkstrand to the Seattle Kraken. He was actually the top scorer last season with 28 goals. Players signed was Eric Branson to 4 years, Johnny Gaudreau to 7 years, and Patrick Laine to 4 years. Those Gaudreau and Laine signs I like. They have 2 trades here. The Blue Jackets traded the 2022 4th-round pick to the Predators in exchange for forward Matthew Oliver. They also traded Oliver Bjorkstrand to the Seattle Kraken in exchange for a 2023 3rd-round pick and 2023 4th-round pick. Dude, the Johnny Gaudreau there was, I think that was the biggest shocker, one of the biggest shockers in the offseason.
Yeah.
I did not expect Gaudreau to be like, yeah, Columbus, I'm going to go to you.
Right?
Know?
It's nuts,
out of
too.
all teams.
The main part of it, I think, came down to, like, family life and where they want to live and settle down. And, like, he said that, like, this is, like, the spot for them, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, like, interesting to me.
What?
And it's almost, like, contradicting everything around the league because a lot of guys for maybe the past 5-6 seasons were like, I don't want to be in Columbus. This sucks. It's kind of like the Canada of the United States. Like, you know how you get out to, like, the farm area up there?
Like
I don't know.
Buffalo, you know?
Yeah.
Buffalo, New York.
It seemed like everyone was like, screw this place, but Gaudreau's like, no, it's a great spot to have a family, so.
Well, that makes you ask the question if Tortorella was part of that conversation, too. And now him not being there, especially for a lot of the younger players that I think clearly were at odds with him in terms of just the way he wanted them to play and the way they wanted to play.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's very much an old school coach. Like, you're going to block every shot. You're going to come back on D. And I think, you know, obviously we've seen this team has a very, really young roster that a lot of guys have popped on in the last few years. And now you look at the top 6 and it feels like it's a more established top 6 in terms of guys you know. So it's, I don't know. I'm still trying to gauge how I feel about this team because I just don't know a lot of the guys in the bottom 6. And they're going to need those guys to step up if they want to be competitive in what it's a very deep division.
That's exactly what I was just looking at, the bottom 6. I was like, I don't really know where this is going to, you know, bring this team. And I kind of look at them like me and Pat were talking off the air earlier, the teams that were the puzzle pieces that all got brought together that kind of didn't really click, like the Vancouver Canucks or the Ottawa Senators when they brought in those different players that you're like, oh, they could shake things up, this could be good, and then didn't really jive. So, and when it comes to really only the top 6 are looking like that, and the bottom 6, you're like, well, maybe, you know, I don't know if that's going to jive.
Yeah. You brought up coaches too, and like, yeah, that makes sense because we're going to be talking about them next week, but the whole Bruce Cassidy leaving stuff and Krejci signing and Patrice Bergeron signing, there was talks about the reason why Krejci might not come back or was the whole Bruce Cassidy stuff. So it's weird that coaches can force, I mean, not really in Johnny Gaudreau's case, but like a player like Johnny Gaudreau to a team like the Columbus Blue Jackets, you know? It's kind of nuts. But let's get on to the roster here. So why do I keep saying Johnny Gaudreau here? Johnny Gaudreau, who was 2nd on the Flames team in goals with 40, 3rd in the league in assists with 75, and 3rd in the league in points with 115. A absolute smoke. Boone Jenner, Patrick Laine, who was 2nd on the team in goals with 26 and 4th in assists with 30. Gustav Nyquist, Jack Roslovic, Jacob Voracek, Kent Johnson, Cole Sillinger, Kirill Marchenko, Eric Robinson, Sean Corelli, Matthew Oliver. For the defensemen, they have Zach Werenski, Andrew Peak, Vladislav Gavrikov, Adam Boakfist, Jake Bean, love that name, Eric Gudbranson, and for goalies, Elvis Merzlikins and Jonas Corpusalo. Jonas Corpusalo, one of my favorites to watch, but this was interesting to me when I was looking at his stats. Career low last season with 4.15 GAA and .877 save percentage, 7-11-0 record. Oof. Not good.
No.
You are just relying on Elvis Merzlikins to get that shit done.
It's also crazy to me that in the NHL nowadays you can have a 4.15 and an 8.77 as a goalie and finish the season 7-11.
That's insane.
Right? Like, holy shit. When you lose, you lose, but when you win, we get by.
Right?
We just got to outscore them. That's how we're going to win this.
Yeah.
The
Modern
scores are like
NHL.
12-10. Just insane, you know? But I don't know. Like, this is the we've talked about this. Is one guy going to make a difference here? Is Johnny Gaudreau going to come in and for some reason be that god that just like turns an entire team and roster around.
Kind of was in Calgary.
Yeah.
Like he was there long enough that over time the organization kind of flipped, don't you think?
Yeah.
Well, and I think you could
Patrick
look at it.
wasn't Patrick Laine supposed to be that guy when he came over from the Jets?
Yeah, but I think they realized they need another piece for that guy.
That's what I was going to say. I think you look at what Gaudreau did for a guy like Sean Monahan at Calgary.
Yeah.
Perennial 20-goal scorer. Laine's got far more skill than he does, and I think they've been looking, like you said, they've been looking for that piece to go along with Laine. Not to mention he's finally, out from under the Tortorella,
Thumb.
Yeah, just a guy that he clearly didn't like. And I think it's going to be interesting to watch those two guys play together, both in the even strength and the power play. I think that could be a real game breaking potential.
And you know what? I don't know if there's another player in the league that is more of a polar opposite than Tortorella than Laine.
Oh,
like
God,
he's
yeah.
so like fashion forward, like flashy off the ice, like kind of video games too. I think he's into.
He wears hoodies under his jersey during
Yep.
practice.
And then
Does he
like.
really?
And then like goes the extra mile on offense, but like doesn't give it 110 on defense. Like it's like the exact opposite of a Tortorella player. you know?
Yeah.
So it really comes to show what it's like.
I mean, I think Tortorella again was the reason why Bobrovsky was just like, I need to get the hell out of here. Bobrovsky and what's his name?
Well,
They're just
Bobrovsky wanted
Panarin.
$10 million a
like,
year.
want $10 million a year and shit the bed for 1 year, and then the next year is like, I should probably play. So I do want to go back to Voracek here. His stats were actually interesting to me. So last season he had 56 assists, and I was like, well, it's a lot. But he's also a player whose goals haven't been the same, but assists have stayed in the 40-plus range since 2013. Wow. So since 2013, this dude has been nothing but 40-plus assists, just getting the job done for 10 years.
That's
Almost
incredible.
10 years, yeah.
That's a streak. I wonder how many players match that
Right.
statistically.
Not insane. So
That's nuts.
Voracek getting the job done here too. No assistant captain, not captain, just a guy by the wayside getting the job done.
I've always been a fan of his. Just the way he played, the style of game he plays, a very physical. He's happy to go to the front of the net and just park his ass there and score plenty of goals. And I've just always been a fan of his, and I'm curious to see his impact here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. So Voracek wasn't he from originally from the Flyers?
Yeah, he was definitely on the Flyers at
I
one
think
point.
he's been his whole career up until then with the Flyers.
Mm-hmm. So just an interesting guy. This is a guy that I wonder if like one of those guys without the C, without the A, without like all this stuff on him could just get the job done. Like I wonder if Columbus just like give him the C or give him the A, and for some reason like his stats kind of just start to slowly decline because there's more
Pressure.
there's more pressure and more spotlight on him.
Yeah.
Who is their captain at this point?
For
Was
the
it-
roster,
was it Bjorkstrand last season, or who was it? Or was it Boone Jenner, maybe?
Boone Jenner
been there a
sounds
while.
right.
Jenna sounds
It is
familiar.
Boone Jenner.
Okay,
Yep.
there we go.
We actually did a thing a few weeks ago where there was a lot of teams without captains currently.
Yeah, I think there were like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Rangers finally named one. I thought it was kind of cool that they had like a running streak of seasons without a captain though. Like,
Yeah, just don't have. I guess the rule is, I guess you have assistant captains, you're good to go. But captains are just like, I didn't know about that. I can't remember how we got into this rabbit hole, but I looked it up and I was like, whoa, there's like 11, again 12, something up there.
I think that can also
No
go
captains.
to my point earlier about the modern NHL where one guy doesn't stay with the team for his whole career, like a business model, and that leaves the whole of like, who do we really want to put a C on if we're going to get rid of the guy next year? What does that say? If we
Right,
make this guy our captain and then we sell him.